One more after this, guys. I'm getting burnt out and I'm getting tired more and more after each video. Anyway, good morning and welcome to my morning gospel fuel with Mr. G. It is Saturday, March 6th. I should be traveling back right now, I think, or soon. Anyway, it's the feast day of the 42 Martyrs of Ammoria, which were the 42 martyrs, I believe, were uh, uh, leaders in the war. So 42 generals, I believe, during the Byzantine time of the 1800s. One of those battles. I'm not a history buff right now, but they were sent off to Syria in the 800s and were imprisoned, and they were martyred for not accepting the Islamic faith. Um, so, so yeah, if you're Islamic, that's not the way to be. Um, But anyway, not saying Catholics are perfect either. There's been a lot of turmoil in the Catholic faith as well. But as far as the root of the teachings, anyway, let's not get into that. Today's gospel um, on this Saturday, March 6th, is from Luke chapter 15, verses 1 through 3, and verses 11 through 32. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen. The tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to listen to him. But the Pharisees and scribes began to complain, saying, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." So to them he addressed this parable. Then he said, "A man had two sons, and the younger son said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of your estate that should come to me.' So the father divided the property between them. And after a few days, the younger son collected all his belongings and set off to a distant country where he squandered his inheritance on a life of dissipation. When he had freely spent everything, a severe famine struck that country, and he found himself in dire need. So he hired himself out to one of the local citizens, who sent him to his farm to tend the swine. And he longed to eat his fill of the pods on which the swine fed, but nobody gave him any. Coming to his senses, he thought, 'How many of my father's hired workers have more than enough food to eat, but here I am, dying from hunger. I shall get up and go to my father, and I shall say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son. Treat me as you would treat one of your hired workers.' So he got up and went back to his father. While he was still a long way off, his father caught sight of him and was filled with compassion. He ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. His son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I no longer deserve to be called your son.' But his father ordered his servants, 'Quickly, bring the finest robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Take the fattened calf and slaughter it. Then let us celebrate with a feast. Because this son of mine was dead and has come to life again. He was lost and has been found.' Then the celebration began. Now the older son had been out in the field, and on his way back, as he neared the house, he heard the sound of music and dancing. He called one of the servants and asked what this might mean. The servant said to him, 'Your brother has returned, and your father has slaughtered the fattened calf because he has him back safe and sound.' He became angry, and when he refused to enter the house, his father came out and pleaded with him. He said to his father in reply, 'Look, all these years I served you, and not once did I disobey your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat to feast on with my friends. But when your son returns, who swallowed up your property with prostitutes, for him you slaughtered the fattened calf.' He said to him, 'My son, you are here with me always. Everything I have is yours. But now we must celebrate and rejoice, because your brother was dead and has come to life again. He was lost and has been found.'" Whew, that's a long parable. We've heard that one before, right? The return of the son, of the prodigal son, the parable of the lost son. And we see both ways. We see God's love and mercy of the one that is lost. Of both the son that was lost and also the son that never left. God, the point of the story and the point of this parable is that God wants all of us in heaven. And he wants it on our own free will. He wants us to choose him. And he doesn't have a time frame. Because again, remember, God is timeless. Eternity is timeless. So that's something that we need to keep in mind, that, our time on earth is not the same as what it is in heaven. So because even if it was like, even though, I'm 30, and then, you know, somebody else returns to the faith and believes at age 85, right before they die, I shouldn't be jealous of them, of thinking that this man is saved and hoping that I'm saved. Um, Jealousy is not something that we should fall into, although it's very easy to do so. And God's trying to teach us this. So He wants to love all of us, but it's also a demonstration of His love and mercy, and also His patience with us. Because no matter, every time we sin, every time you and I sin, we run away like the lost son. So our goal is to not judge others and to just always seek Him at all things. So that's the challenge. Take that to prayer. Be more merciful and compassionate to those that you think don't deserve it, because they do. So have a great day. God bless. Keep it real. In the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen.